Every 2 weeks. How much do they make every 2 weeks? So anyway, and some make 3,000 every 2 weeks. But if you work in the post office somewhere like that, you make about 2,000.
Yeah, you think they'd be in that between $20 to $30 an hour range? You think? Post office? Post office? No.
But anyway, I'm just trying to, let's get back to the subject. The subject is the amount of money. After I was off for a week and I saw how much money I could make by being home all the time, of course I quit. Then I got a quick case, then I went back to work. So the police was there. So I used to lift iron, so I'd have this little. I said, "No, I worked. See, I got to see in my hands, you know." And I just bought a brand new '67 Cadillac and had another Cadillac parked. So that brought attention in those days because people worked. They didn't. You can't afford that. You know what I mean? You just in those days you just couldn't afford that, and they was the prettiest cars you ever seen. Okay, so here come the white man. So I mean the government. In fact, three governments. They had the state Bureau of Narcotics, they had the city police, and they had the federal government. And they just strolled by my house. Oh, we just happened to. That's what they could say. They're the government. I say, you just happened by here. You just happened by here and you happened, okay, fine. Of course, I beat the case, but they done already gave me, and they done searched my house and got all the information that they get. And then while they searching my house, they said, this one is different. You know what they said? He saves his money because I had 2 or 3 bank accounts, which people didn't have. In the game, said, this one is different. He saves his money. Anyway, let me go on, because this is for a fundraiser, not a social. This is a global rescue mission, and that's our job. We have to rescue the world. We have to look at our job not as a big deal, but nobody else is doing it, so we might as well go for broke. Nobody's even thinking about rescuing the world. They're thinking about urinating on the world. These people, if you know, to read the Quran and Hadith and everything about people in at certain periods, and there it is. The people, you tell them the truth, they cover their head up. I don't want to hear that, right? And the people are covering their head. They don't want to hear what we're talking about. And all we're saying is what the Quran say. Okay? So bump them. We got to do, our wives and our children and our family, our friends, everybody that don't want to hear it, their lives depend on what we do. Hey, and it don't depend on getting a good job and protecting yourself. It don't depend on that right now. It don't depend on that. It's not happening. No matter what people want it to happen, it ain't happening. And we don't know when the bottom will fall out. Because when the bottom falls out, we have to get out. The people won't go. They're going a little bit. But go join the police department. Go join those operations. It'll be your job to keep everybody in line. Right? But if you got critical mass, now you can do what you think is right. You see what I mean? Because you got critical mass. You're armed, right? You're trained. And who they gonna do away with right away? First, they already got it set up. The crackpot Euros is gonna, everything that happened is our fault. Or it's the Latinos' fault, right? Just coming across the border. They say we didn't cross the border crossed us. In other words, y'all took this from us, man. What are you talking about? You know, and see, at that time, when it's critical, everybody's memory come back. You know, you go back generations ago, the Mexicans said, well, do what we can. But then the Mexicans started to remember all the hacenderos that used to own all that land in Texas and California, that they had Spanish land grants. They took it from the Mexicans. And all that oil in California and Texas, they took it from them. They stole it right in front of them, everybody, and made them poor. These people were rich, big plantation. They might as well all haciendas, all big ones, rich. Okay, so they stole it. The Texans stole them, the Californians stole them, the Arizona, New Mexico, Nuevo Mexico, Texas. Hey, I'm telling you, Nevada, nieve, snow, right? Nevada, that's what it is. It's got all that snow up there. Big Valley, yeah. Stockton, California. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, all of those. Where did they get all of that stuff from? Big Valley, yeah, and all of the other stuff, they had it big. Why not? It's free. We just steal it from the Mexicans and then put them back to work on our place and then give them a name. The Mexicans are lazy. The old thing you see a Mexican sitting under a tree with these, lazy. You ever seen a lazy Mexican? They don't make lazy Mexicans. They don't make them. Because you can't eat. You know, anyway, let's speed up. This is a general or global rescue mission. That's what it is. We have to look at it like that. We say, come on in, the water's fine. We're on the threshold of a new world. We're walking through that door that's going through the threshold. We're going through it. Okay, we've been looking at it and talking about it and setting everything up. Now we're just walking physically through it because that's our job. And we're not turning back, inshallah. We're just not, that's our job. We've planned, we got stacks of everything. The world we want to live in, this is your future. Can you imagine we can live in the world we want to live in, but it's just going to cost so much. Yeah. And can you imagine? We see what we're up against. They ruined all the money. They spent all the money going to war. They don't have nothing good going on. And it's our fault. Didn't they what the people said? The people are spending too much. Well, they give people $25, and the white folks, the guy on what's the name, made more money in the last few months. He made more money than he ever had way back then. Because people are buying tit on the line. My family, they won't buy no more. As I go, they want me to take them. And they ordered the mailman come down there. I said, what do y'all do with that stuff? We just order it. And they drop it off. I said, can you imagine the mailman comes every day, sometime with 2 or 3 things in there? What the heck? You can't get in the closet. You can't get into nothing. What do you do with that stuff? Huh? And order. Just order. They done got the people addicted. Just order. 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 Hey, shh. Look on the thing. Order. When I needed some tennis shoes, I couldn't find the kind that I like. They don't make them no more. I told my daughter, I said, can you order me a couple of pair of these? She got on the line. Ordered a pair. It's got gel in it. You know what I mean? Gel. And when you get older, you can't stand the shock. Or you can stand it if you just want to die. But it absorbs it in a big old, they don't look good, but they big. They just what you need when you get senior citizen. So they ordered me a couple of pair. I said, hey, why don't you order me a few more pair before this goes out? Because I don't care nothing about style. So order some more. Order. There they come. And now they're addicted. And they blaming them for the problem. You're spending the money. Now, what do they think? They done hooked it up so the people don't have to go to work for a while. And now they want them to go back to work for no money. And they saying, hey, you got that money, you better give me some of it. I ain't going nowhere. You ain't working. Why? What you want me to work for? Right? And the thing that happened is they had a chance to think. You can't give the common man no time to think. You can keep him mad, you can keep him upset, running from pillar to post, keep him busy, but don't let him sit back and look around and analyze, hey, huh? I want a better world. I demand it. I'm not going, you can give me this stuff. You got my tax money, and I don't want you to build no super Z, what did Eisenhower call it, military industrial complex. I don't want none of that. I don't want to go to war with nobody. Make love, not war. I don't want to go to war. And don't nobody want to go to war no more. You can get maybe one or two dummies that just from Mississippi or out in the woods or in Guam somewhere, out in the woods, Robinson Crusoe type, and say, I want you to go to war. Yes, sir, I'll go. One or two. But everybody else, man, after that year of kind of cruising, I say, hey, man, it's just worse than me making $1,500 a week 100 years ago. I said, I ain't going back to work. I'm wasting my time. I make $100 a week. And I just turned over $1,500 a week profit. It's only 15 times as much as I was making before. And I'm not tired either. And I can go in the hills and run and walk and lift iron. I had calluses on my hand from lifting iron. Puffed all up again. You see that picture in the swimming pool? I was still pretty good size in, but that's when I was making money. I wasn't working on no job then, not in no swimming pool. A nigga at a swimming pool in 1966 and it's his in 1966? Shh, I'm sorry. If you got friends like that, right? If I had friends like that, I had some pretty good friends. Negro swimming pools in 1966. Shh. It's your pool. It ain't you're not to go to ask white folks are swimming. Can I get in the water? It might turn to ink or something if I get in here. But okay, anyway, dear believers, thank y'all very much. We're going to have our program, and we're going to be doing fundraisers on a semi-regular basis. By the end of next month, I'll go back to California. And in the meantime, we'll have this program coming up. And by the end of next month, about 25 days after, we're going to have this on the 2nd, somewhere around the 29th or 30th or something. We'll have another program. That'll get us, see, what we're doing now is we're getting just the rhythm. We get the rhythm, then we go back and tighten up California. Then we be there a while. But now we're in a work rhythm. So all of the stuff that needs to be done, raising funds, doing this, that, and other, that's what we're doing. That's the trip we're on, let's call it that. Yeah. As we say, the party's over. And it's good. And I'll close with this. Dear believers,